I've been changing circumstances more in alignment with a culture of gifting. So much I could say about that. A deepening and softening of relationship with our Creator, and the kind of stagnant staleness that I know is always a prelude to gonna level up here. And we just get the news that our president passed a bill that's going to make us a cashless society very soon. And we all know the prophecy about the mark of the beast and not being able to buy, sell, or trade. And that's presented to us. Like, even now, there are places in New York City, I guess, and probably other places as well. You can't even enter a grocery store without paying with your digital card. And it shows people holding their phone up at the scanner. Like when you go to a Subway and you pass through the things, you used to drop tokens in, and then you could make the little bars spin and get on the platform. Now the grocery stores are like that. And it's, the warning is pitched. Well, that's so that while your children are starving, you get to watch the people who took the number of the beast, the mark of the beast, feed their children wonderful things. Flip the script. Maybe we aren't being excluded. They're being removed from us. They're being removed from all that is natural and good. They're going to be stripped of their humanity, becoming transhuman, just becoming biological vessels for technology. And so, not only will you not want to be amongst them, you won't be allowed to be amongst them. All throughout history, the faithful have become misled, intermingled. They go into the cities. Lot, he went into a city and he got corrupted. His daughters became corrupt. Dinah went into the city with her brothers. They became corrupt. She was corrupted. Whether against her will or not isn't perfectly clear because they're different accounts. But her brothers seemed to believe that it was a violation. So now, the ability to corrupt ourselves is going to be removed. And that, to me, is a gift. Because how often do we just oh, this looks like a good movie. It's about God. Oh, it's a movie based on scriptures, the life story, like watching the Ten Commandments with Moses. We watch that and we think, oh, okay, there's some errors in it, whatever. But it's better than, going out and watching something about serial killers and stuff like that. What we don't know is that before those movie reels come out, are released to the public, they're taken and a ritual is done over them. There's like a master reel of all the movies that are going to be released throughout the year and all the music that's going to be released for the radio and public consumption. And it's taken to like a Masonic lodge amongst the Illuminati, and they do a blood ritual. That means people are sacrificed. Horrible things happen to infuse and taint this entertainment. And when you go into the grocery stores or any place for shopping, there's always music playing. And so we will be forced to learn how to fulfill the role that we were designed for, to take care of the earth, to be gardeners, to be husbandmen for animals and for the earth. And so it's totally awesome that I've been put in a position where I can put what I've been studying into practice. It's just with somebody who has it here just to say that they have it here. They don't actually live off of the food that they grow or anything like that. It's like a novelty. And there's such abundance that they don't care. Like, wow. So much is left to spoil. Which, to live in, nothing gets wasted. I mean, some animals are going to come along. It's going to turn into compost. It's just like when you go to a dairy farm. And I always found this the strangest thing. Your factory farm, which they won't call it that anymore because they love their animals. They take care, they get the best vet care and hoof care, and they get to eat out of fields and stuff like that. But they will not drink unpasteurized milk. They complain about the prices of milk at the grocery store. They buy their store from the milk. Even though they get milk from cows and sell it to companies that will process it. And then they buy it back, stripped of everything that's truly nutritious about it. It's just wild. But I also know that I have been in situations where, like, I'll make a homemade medicine and stuff like that, and then for some reason I just can't consume it. It's like I'll put all this love and care into it, but I won't take it into myself. And so I had to learn how to let myself receive the love that I myself have put into something. It's like I always gave everybody better love than I gave myself. And so I couldn't even accept it in the food that I prepared and things like that. It's crazy. But it's true. It's very real. So I'm in a place like that where they put so much love and then they neglect it. They can't partake of it. And maybe I'm here to help them overcome that. I don't know. But I do know that being out here, I am not as inundated and surrounded and infected by a society that is losing its humanity. Its humanity is being stripped of it. Its divine nature to love, to understand compassionately is being stripped of it. And I have a friend, and she works at a store. They process their own meat and, get local fresh vegetables and stuff. So it's like a pricier little mini grocery convenience store. And she works with younger people a lot. And she'll bring them in treats, like she'll buy this big thing of candy and bring it in to share with them because she knows that they like it. And they're young, they'll just eat tons of it. They're like, why do you do that? They might get birthday presents from their parents, but she gives them a card and they're like, why are you doing that? And then she helps. Like she helped me. She had a coworker who he had just gotten the job, but his vehicle broke down and he became homeless. So he was sleeping in a broken down vehicle. And she would pick him up every day and drive him to work. And he found a place and he got his vehicle fixed. But before that, they're asking her, why do you do that? And it's just unfathomable to those of us who will go out of our way and who will help other people that somebody would ask, why? Why do you do that? And the irony is, I'm in the state of Vermont. And Vermont is very liberal, very socialist in its thinking. And they're supposed to be all about people, all about inclusion. They have no understanding of what it means to be included in community. To be included as family, human family. And it's terrifying. If your resources are dependent on them, and we all feel that they are, that our resources are dependent upon society and its structure and those grocery stores running. And it shouldn't be. It doesn't need to be. I just got done reading the other day the account in the scriptures of, it was Solomon's grandson. Yeah, it was his grandson who was king. And he called out to the Creator to save his people against the enemy twice. And the enemy was huge, multiple times the forces they had. And boom, the Creator comes in and takes care of it for him. And then somebody else smaller comes and starts to, build up, prepare to go against them. And he sends gold and gifts and stuff like that to another king, so that other king will come and conquer this one, building up to come against him. And So of course God says, well, in response to that, the rest of your life, you're going to be at war. I mean, that is how like God did with Pharaoh. You want to harden your heart against me? Fine. Your heart's going to remain hard until it gets your firstborn killed. All the firstborn of all your people, until I destroy your country. Wow. And then this same grandson of Solomon, who's king, is, I think it's Asa, A-C-A. He gets sick. His feet get disease. And he goes to the doctors instead of relying on God. You're basically required to go to doctors now. I mean, I will be glad. I will be so relieved to be released from this system. But I know that I have a lot of understanding to arrive at. Before I can be called into covenant. And that may seem strange to say if you've seen my videos, but you're so passionate about God. You seem to have a lot of insights. How little we know. Oh, how little we know. And I just happened, the names of God were the picture on a video, and it just seemed like just another cheesy video. Like, everybody's got instructions on Hebrew and how to do it right. And then I looked at who had made it. Oh, it's that Ephraim guy. And this is the third video. I started to listen to it, and there's a first video, so I went back to the first video, because the first video is where he actually talks about the pronunciation of the Yad-He Vav-He, YHWH, and it's got nothing to do with the letters themselves. No, it would not. No, it would not. And of course, it would be through an actual person of Hebrew heritage. Of course it would. God chose them. He will do everything to them when they misbehave. But as soon as they turn around and they sincerely want to know him with a sincere heart, there he is. Boom. And so it will be. It will continue to be. And anybody who reads the Bible from beginning to end, you have to purposely put blinders on. And if you purposely put blinders on, what's he gonna do? He's gonna have them surgically put on. Y'all gonna be wearing the goggles. Bunch of Christians wearing the holographic reality goggles. That just came to me. Like, that just popped into my head right now. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Boom. So I'm going to put the link below to Mr. Ephraim's video and the insights. See, we're subject to the English language. We are indoctrinated with it. And I know, because I learned through Russian literature, that the word man was not gender specific. There were different words for woman and male, female and male, man. And you don't want to be mankind, because you're a kind of man. But man. So I am a wombed man. I am a man with a womb. But that doesn't make me trans. And so, in other languages, he points it out that you can address a singular person with a plural reference as a sign of deep respect. They, them. They're demanding a higher respect than you would give somebody else. And we lost the word thou. When you meet a stranger on the street today, you would say, how are thou today? But if you would come across somebody that you highly respect, like a parent, you would say, how are you today? And if you were to come across a group of people and address them all at once, you would say, how are you today? But if you met a single person, how are thou today? But they took out the thou. And it's the same thing with other languages, with tu and vous. And so that's why Elohim is how God was identified as more than one. And then he goes on and he talks about these spirits of God and these sons of God. And it's true, it makes sense. You know, if somebody approaches me, my mind is set. It's like, I got momentum on a project. It's going this way. And I'm focused on making plans and aligning everything to go this way. And then somebody comes with, hey, look at this and come do this and this needs to be done now. You have met my wrath. And my wrath is not going to be willing to do that. Because my focus, my passion is someplace else. So my passion has turned to wrath because you have assaulted its focus. And so it is with our Creator. And so these sons of God, these spirits of God, like fire, that is our Creator in an expression of itself. So you want to talk to God's passion for you, your well-being, your uniqueness, the bone that you tickle for our Creator. You know what I mean? Like, different people have different ways of delighting us. You know, one will tickle your funny bone. The other one will just, you know, like tickle the ears, tickle the eyes. You want to tickle the part of God that's going to be good to you. And if God says that you're going to have to make a choice, you are not going to divert God from God's plan. Because God's passion, that's a freight train of momentum. Nothing created can stand against. And not one other aspect of God is going to get in its way, or it will be considered God's enemy. Like Satan. The skeptic. The Spirit of God. So God is looking down at Job. He loves me. He offers to me. So conscientious. I love this dude. He's tickling that ego aspect of God. That, an ego is just a personality archetype that lives within us. But then, God's skeptic starts talking. Like when we really, really appreciate someone, but something about them is making us really uncomfortable. And so our analytical aspect comes in. And that goes so along with the story of creation that I was given. Like the incentive, the spark from the aspect that I shared one witness while it shared its creation story with me. Is, it was all feeling and flow, desire, the fulfillment of the desire. And then there's like an awareness that it's being brought into these different states and being manipulated. And so it's wondering, well, what do I look like? And then bang. And when you wonder what you look like, you put a mirror in front of your face and you start to analyze it. And our mindset changes. It's like a whole nother person steps in. You're walking around, you get a shower, you feel good, you blow dry your hair. I don't use a blow dryer, I haven't done one, but I'm just saying. And, you run your fingers through it, and it just feels so good. Oh, and you feel clean. Oh, it's a beautiful day outside, beautiful smells in the air. Your floors are clean, you're in a pristine environment, and you walk up to a mirror expecting to see this wonderful, glorious, and you're just judge, critical, noticing something's out of place, something you'd want changed. And so that's how that desire required the creation of a mirror or an other to express this is what you look like, and then the becoming conscious and aware of this other that is showing you a picture of yourself that is not resonating with how you feel about yourself. And so God created man in his image and decided he needed some help. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. It's real, but don't go there. Because yes, I had to go through the apology because my impression was, well, if it's in your image and you decided it needed help, that means like you felt like you needed help. And the Creator doesn't need our help. Nope. No. Oh. And just because you're not allowed to go somewhere, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that it's not right. You just don't go there. Like, there's certain things, don't go there. Don't talk to me about that. I was young, I was stupid, I was this, I was that. I'm not in a place where I'm going to deny it or come up, like, wish I could send lightning at anybody. But it's just, don't go there. Why? It's to no avail, to no purpose. No purpose. So yeah, there you are. And there you have it. And whatever it is you make of it. But, I am looking forward to, but knowing that this is like biologically going to change me. Watching these videos, I've only watched so far into the link but I think it's so important, and I'm not going to be inclined to come on here very much. I'm going to be busy. And I'm not going to volunteer for a microchip to be put in me just so that I can do this. It's not going to happen. And it's scary to let go of the familiar. Breathe, baby, breathe. You can have the food. You just need to eat it. Just eat the food. It's going to be natural food. It's going to be good for you. Better than anything that's going to come out of the grocery store where they're injecting your lettuce and your vegetables with immunizations. What kind of like, how do you know what we're going to get? And what are you immunizing? Like, it's not an immunization if something's not a threat. And since when does the government give us the cure before it gives us the disease? So, very sus, as the younger people would say. Very sus. Oh, wow. Wild and crazy. But it has to come. It has to happen. And when you look at how much our Creator has sent just for us who are living through this time, the books of Enoch, specifically for the people of the end times, the prophets, specifically message for people of the end times. We've gotten the information ahead of time. This is coming. This is coming. This is what's happening. It's been diluted. It's been misinterpreted. Wow. And people are going to be in cities and they're going to be thinking, oh, we got the cure for all the diseases. I just got to get this medicine. I can eat whatever I want. I saw a brief video of the Tesla restaurant, drive-in restaurant, where it's got, like hundreds of places to charge your car, and you could watch a big full screen, like drive-in movie, get your food, and they're going to think they're living on top of the world. But they're not even going to know how to be human. Those are the androids of tomorrow. And it's the weirdest thing. Because, I'm talking to somebody and they're like, oh yeah, the doctor's making, their sister wear this wrist thing that keeps track of blood pressure and all of that in real time and uploads it to the doctor's office so he can keep an eye on her. And somebody else has got an implant for their diabetes, and so that it can be monitored online. And they're laughing. They're like, look, I'm already part cyborg. Out your own mouth. For real. Not joking. But they don't see it that way. It's just a device. It just happens to be attached to their body. But it's removable, right? It's temporary. It's like putting a watch on. This just penetrates the skin. What a time we live in. And maybe, now it strikes me, maybe that's why it's not until this time that, for example, I'm coming across this video about the names of God and the real secret to his name, because it doesn't need to be out here. When I say out here, I mean you out there in the city, using your phone to get into the grocery store. And maybe I had gotten a foreknowing long time ago when I first went through the big awakening process. And I was older, basically living alone out in the woods. And I was aware that the people coming out of the cities, because people were fleeing the cities, like they were waking up and coming out of them. And the ones that would wander out but weren't fleeing them, like all their artwork all looked the same. Everybody was just like a copy of each other. There's nothing new coming out of there. Nothing human, no true art or anything like that. And then this one person had left. And they, were describing it. And it was just like the picture I just painted, expressing everybody living in like Tesla cities. That's where the Matrix will be. And it's not going to be like, those of us out here are not going to be trying to destroy the Matrix. We aren't going to be trying to destroy Tesla cities. They're there for a reason. Like incubators for any future generations of real humanity will be like Neo, having to unplug physically and literally from the cities. And it will be like, and being given this, it just left too. I've been given a preview of all this already. Wow. Yeah. We'll all be out here. Oh, the illusion. Don't turn it. Okay, it's back now. certain things have to leave so that they don't get more information than they need. And it's because they don't want their illusion destroyed, because they're the illusion, and the illusion has a right to exist, because without the illusion there's no relevance. So you don't assault the illusion, and so you don't assault the matrix. It exists for a reason. It is so that those people can be deluded. That expression and creation of God can continue to live in that delusion. The mind of God, maybe? The part of God that drives itself crazy, that is self-destructive, will have an outlet of expression there. But out of self-destruction, we also often destroy the parts of ourselves that are not serving our best interests, our well-being. And so some good things can come out of self-destruction. And so, if images of God in human form, humanoid form, non-humanoid form, come out of these furnaces of self-destruction to be loved and be integrated in the paradise, the New Jerusalem that will be outside of it, and it will be outside of New Jerusalem, as Revelation says, and outside will be the dogs and of that. Well, so it will appear that those of us not taking the mark of the beast are the ones being cast out and not allowed in, when in fact that is an inverted picture of them being cast and pulled to the outside and not allowed in. Wow. That is incredible. So I will probably get new neighbors, and the neighbors that are here with all of the money and already becoming transhuman will be like called to the outside, which is in to society, in civilization. That's a different perspective. I feel better with that perspective. I don't go be thanking my creator. And I hope this helps you in some respect. It is the time for stepping and choosing a path that you cannot turn back from. Yeah, you could probably turn around and go, but I mean, there's only going to be one way to stay on the path. It's not going to be a mixing of the two together. Us getting to be a part of civilization and technology, and them getting to be a part of the natural environment and paradise. No. Nope. Yuck. I don't want to be a part of that. Okay, so, and in my videos previous, I had mentioned how I was just sitting there and like an entity came and said, the only thing standing between the smoker and God is death. And that had my brain like rattling. Like, apparently we all must die. A few people have been, taken straight up to heaven, whatever, just transformed. But I wondered why that was said to me. And it was so cold, like just nonchalant, this is the facts, this is the diagnosis, and off it went. Literally just boom. And then I was just recently reminded, I've been spending so much time in the Old Testament that I totally forget everything from the New. I gotta recondition, relearn it, come at it with, clarified brain cells. Romans 8:38-39. Nothing can stand between us and God's love. And that is the Spirit of God that we want to be in relationship with, God's love, because God's love is going to nurture us and protect us from God's displeasure and everything else. So, I'm going to go on my path, and you're going to go on yours. Don't attack the illusion. Don't try to dismantle it for everybody. Let the righteous continue in righteousness and the unrighteous in unrighteousness. Let God be a fuck show over there if God wants to be a fuck show over there. But let us be one in an expression of clarity and love and compassion and communion or community with one another. And even though all of that is true, we are still, I'm me and you are you. And we are still to interact as individual people, not God. Images, reflections, companions. Sometimes a whole lot of entertainment, I'm sure, but but again, see, this is where the esoteric path can lead you astray, and you start trying to dismantle the illusion, convince people that they're in a matrix, tell them that it's all just energy. It's like, I'm in a box made of wood. This is true. This is true. It is a small abstraction. It's a chain of numbers and letters. It's energy moving, holding form so that I can perceive it as wood, perceive a smell. I love the smell of pine wood. I love. Take me to a sawmill, I just be like, I'm having a real experience here. I'm integrating it. It is separating me from people who don't like the smell of wood. It doesn't make either one of us better. Just we're allowed to like it, and we're allowed to not like it. Oh well. It doesn't make me less real. The illusion creates relevancy, which makes the illusion very real. Because without the illusion, relevancy would not exist. And we like to feel relevant. If we enjoy the feeling, it's real to us, it's a real experience, then it's real. So, the illusion makes relevancy real. And it's not a mind fuck. It makes sense. Believe me, it does. Or don't. Yeah. I've said, like I was signing off before. But I guess some things need clarification for those who hang around with it. See? Those who just like, oh gosh, she's crazy, turn it off. They didn't get this last bit. I'm happy where I'm at. I appreciate where I'm at. Speaking of which, I got a kitten. And I wasn't going to say anything about this, but it's in this vein. And this kitten, she's just content. She's like up in the loft. All her needs are met. Plenty to entertain her. And she's safe and she's comfortable. And once in a while, she'll meow. Are you out there? Yes, I'm here. Not better. So I looked up baby names for contentment. And the only thing that came up was an Arabic name. Or a version of it. But it's funny because it's Arabic. And it starts with R. So you give a little roll to it. And it sounds like a purr. So I said her name to her. And it was the first time she like come up and just put both paws on the side of my face and she's rubbing her face into mine, and every time I say it she gets ooh, all sensual, rolled over. Like, I thought that is a very good thing, to constantly bring the vibration of contentment into my reality by saying my cat's name. Which is probably a lot better than my poor little dog. I call her Newbie Doobie. But her name, like, she did not want any other name other than Anubis. And so I was company with the energies of the god of death for her. I still am. It's part of the illusion. Don't destroy it. But I saw how somebody had written that so many of us are naming our pets, giving them the names of deities. It was very real in Southern California when I came from. I'm sitting here yelling for my dog Anubis, and this guy's like, why are you yelling for my dog? Your dog's chasing my dog. I'm like, my dog's name is Anubis. He's like, my dog's name is Anubis. This is giant pit bull, all brindle colors. Didn't look anything like Anubis. How could you name it? But the point of this thing that I read was that we are taking the energy from those deities and dividing it up amongst a bunch of animals and expressing authority over it. So basically we're dismembering the gods and making pets of their various body parts. And it just strikes me that that's a thing in mythology. About a deity whose mate gets dismembered and she puts it all together, but there's one piece missing. But she makes an artificial one and begets children off of him. Like, this is where the mythology comes from. Cool, cool, cool. Totally hippie, but totally fact, I guess. There it is. There you have it. Lots of rambling. And if you've come this far, in a good way, it's been nice. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing this.